All right, boys, we got a little video footage review. Deep Delve, waves 6 through 24. Masori TBOW loadout. A little bit of analysis. Walk you guys through some of the things I do here. Obviously, this is a wave 6. So what we're going to do is we're only dropping the rock on the first north B tile. We kill the grubs. Again, we want to make sure we stand next to the boss, get a right click on the melees if possible. When we know the boss is going to die, go ahead and knock out the last remaining ones, the many as you can, and get back behind that D1 line, boys. That is the most important part. You're going to see that when we get to Delve 24 on this run, I make a mistake and I do not get behind that D1 line in time. And it pretty much ends the whole run. We survive, but it's a run killer for sure. On these first couple of waves, you really don't have to worry too much about clearing poison and what trees you click to attack. But on some of the deeper runs, you're going to want to kind of focus on that. Again, wave 7, we only have to put the rock on the B tile, the north one, and then just phase them into shield phase as fast as you possibly can. Again, we position ourselves beside the boss on the side where the grubs are coming from. I knew the screen was going to phase them, so I went ahead and focused on killing the last ones as fast as I could, but then that stupid melee just had to spawn right there. Got very lucky that he didn't get absorbed. It was one tick away. On wave 6 and 7, you always have to make sure you get behind that second rock because you're not going to have a protection rock on the northwest side like you will in the Deep Delve waves 8 and higher. Again here, I'm just attacking whichever tree can make the longest stretch and focusing on surviving. There's really no poison to clear at this point. So staying in the shield and surviving, that's the #1 priority, as always. And we move on to wave 8. Now the Deep Delve strategy, 8+ is always different from 6 and 7. You always want to go to the northwestern B tile to start. Make sure, let me rewind it. Make sure you always pay attention to his health. You do not want to phase him into shield phase before he throws the boulders out. See the melee punish? Start running, equip your halberd. As soon as you get to that B1 tile, immediately attack boss. Okay, that was a really fast opening there. So not too much commentary there for that one. We'll have to wait till the later waves to get a slower opening. And then we can do a little bit more analysis on it. A lot of melee punishes here. Always step into the shadow of your first boulder. I know these two are going to phase them, so I'm going to go ahead and knock out the last one. Start running to my D1 line. Attack boss right away. Run to D2. Behind the B1 rock. Keep DPSing. Make sure you stay on that D2 line until the eyeball comes out. Transition to your D3 line. The northwesternmost B rock that you place at the beginning will totally nullify his second attack. Then you have free rocks for the last transition to hide behind. Here, there's a little bit of poison on the ground, so I could look for a run to clear. But, unfortunately, we killed him before the poison could be cleared. Again, we're starting out on that northwestern B tile. Click one tile before the boulders explode to the B1 tile. That's the timing. When he throws up them boulders, one tile or one tick before the first boulder explodes, that's when you want to click your B1 tile. When you got a melee grub coming from the far side, just completely ignore it. Make sure you're behind the D1 for the transition. If he gets absorbed, he gets absorbed. The primary focus should be DPS and making sure you're on the correct lines. Again, the rock's going to totally nullify here. It's going to leave us plenty of open rocks for the last transition. And we finish him off. Wave 10. Move to that B tile, northwestern. Got a melee punish here. Clicking one tick before the first rock explodes. As soon as we get to that B1 tile, if we have the melee punish, we immediately click the boss. So your true tile should only ever be on that B1 tile for one game tick. That's it. As soon as your true tile reaches that B1 tile, you should be immediately clicking the boss for the melee punish. Always, if you have more boulders coming in because you didn't phase them quick enough, always make sure you place them on the east side of the boss. Always make sure you place them on the east side. Again, I'm positioning myself here so I can kill the grubs as soon as they reach contact with the boss. DPSing boss always comes first, then killing the remaining grubs. Again, staying on these D lines until it's safe to transition. When the eyeball comes, attack was nullified. I have open rocks still. Transition to get behind those. I'm going to go for my white row clear here. Made a few mistakes here. Let's go back and see the mistakes. I'm really not sure what I took damage from there. Let's look at this one more time. I prayed the correct prayers. Oh, okay, there it is right there. When I clicked this poison tile, there was also a shadow on it, so I got hit by the falling boulders, falling rock. Took damage from that as well as the poison. And because I was trying to click the tree, but I was like a pixel or two off, so I accidentally clicked this tile instead of the tree. So then I moved to that tile, didn't attack the tree. When I did attack it, it passed me into the other poison, and I just took a crap load of poison damage. But again, the most important part is staying in that orb. It's better to take a couple of 7s and 8s than it is to take a guaranteed 40. You can always spec the boss during shield phase with your Ancient God Sword to get a free 20 heal. Finish the grubs off. Get into position so you can drag the boss straight. And finish him off. Okay, you want to try not to drag him diagonal if possible. When you're in that part of the fight, always drag him straight. Again, making it to our northwestern B1 tile. Keep DPSing the boss. Melee punish, so I know as soon as my true tile hits that B1, I'm immediately transitioning to attacking them. praying the correct prayer, switching back to my bow, and now he's in shield phase. I misplayed here by not healing with my God Sword. I always want to heal when you have the opportunity. That melee is probably going to get in, but it's always more important to get behind that D1 tile. Always more important. That melee won't get absorbed. So that's good. Go ahead, mentally you want to choose what rock you're going to go to and the path you're going to take to get to it. You can see there I was kind of walled off by the poison. And I did lose all my rocks to hide behind, so it's a good thing I killed him there. When it's not melee punish, you always want to click to the shadow of the first boulder to prevent yourself from taking unnecessary damage. Melee punish there, I had to run into melee attack range, but taking a 7 or an 8 from the poison is always better than taking a 99 from missing the melee punish. Again, we want our rocks to fall on the east side. Get a God Sword heal in here, then transition to where the grubs are. When you have poison on each side of the melee grub, you have to step under the boss and hope that there's clear area underneath. If not, you just have to tank poison damage to kill the grub, which is fine. Sometimes you just have to do it. Here, I had to path around the outside of the boss just in case. I ended up being underneath of him whenever he finished his transition. Again, if you are underneath the boss when he finishes his transition, he will boot you out from under him and it will stun you. So you are almost guaranteed to not be able to get behind the D1 line. So again, it's always better to path around the boss than go underneath of him. Okay, here, something to take note of. Pay very close attention to this. If you are on the D3 line when he transitions, it will protect any rocks you have on the D3 line. Okay? That's why another reason why this is the meta strategy. Okay, chose my line here that I'm going to clear. Focus on staying with the shield. Got lucky there. I think I would have took stomp damage if I didn't kill him. Just because I tagged the orb a little bit too early. Here I had no choice but to tank poison damage to get around quickly. If you notice there, notice here, my first hit brought him down to 92%. My second hit brought him down to 83%. At this point, I should not be clicking to attack. I should be waiting. All right, let's rewind that one more time. At this point, I should not be attacking. See how I waited there to click him again after I arrived at my B tile? What I was doing is I was waiting to notice the shield animation. When the shield closes, that's when you click to attack. If he's low percentage. If he's close to phasing. Always wait for that shield close animation. You do not want to trigger him early because then you have no rocks to hide behind. Then you're playing with RNG on whether you're going to have enough rocks or not to protect you from all the blocks, all the stomps, I mean. Even if you forget and you transition him early, you follow the same strategy. You will still be behind the D line. You will still be on the D2 and D3 lines. You follow the same strategy because you always want the boss to position himself in the same locations each time. Okay? Here I could path around using that direction and then get behind the rock. I chose to delay my attack here so that I could go for the free clear. If you finish him off right after the rocks, you get a free clear when the trees pop up. They will not despawn. Okay, so let's see that one more time. Technically, this could have killed him here. I got lucky. And you see how I stopped, I delayed my attack there. I clicked on the ground to stop my attack. And then I clicked to move, and then I clicked to attack the boss. Okay? If you kill the boss right before the trees pop up, you will get a free clear. The trees will not despawn. Okay? Very valuable in later waves when you need to clear long rows of poison to use this method. Okay? We call that the free clear, boys. That's what we call the free clear. Here, click the B1, and then we click into the shadow of the first boulder since we didn't have a melee punish. You need to go back and watch that again to see it. Got our rocks placed on the eastern side, so that's good. Always use your mini-map to see where the grubs are going to be coming from while you're clicking to evade the poison. I'm getting a Godsword spec off here to heal myself. Finish all the grubs off. Once you know the last one that you shot is going to kill them, transition to the D1 line. Repeat process as usual. When you have full Masori TBOW, it really doesn't start getting difficult with the poison until about wave 18, 20, somewhere around there. And then if you're not clearing poison at all, you're going to have a hard time. So getting good at clearing the poison is very beneficial. Here I could have stalled to get the free clear again, to attempt the free clear, but I'm pretty confident with how the poison is laid out on the ground right now. So I didn't go ahead and do that. But if you're not confident with the poison, hey, forget about the speed. Just go for the fastest, or not the fastest, go for the freest, most free clears you can get. Okay, here if you notice, I got to the B tile after he's 81%. I'm not attacking. That's a smart tactical decision. Waiting for him to close his shield. Here, I let the grub go in so that I could get the melee punish off and prevent myself from being hit with a 99. Here, I did not transition to the east side fast enough, so I placed boulders in a really bad spot there. And sometimes placing those boulders in a bad spot can get you killed. So we'll see what happens here with it. See if it messes me up. Because that boulder was there, it looks like I did take a poison damage unnecessarily, because I didn't make it behind the line fast enough before the transition ended. So it did cost me a little bit of health, but not too much, so not too bad. Here again, if he's like at 37 HP at this point, if you're not good with clearing poison while the double boulders are coming out, then you can always just wait and go for that free clear. Okay, go back and look at that one more time. He transitioned, I hit him here, took him to 37 HP. I could have stopped attacking. I could have waited for him to do his last transition, his last stomp, and then I could have moved and clicked to attack and hopefully killed him, and then I would have got the free clear from the trees. Again, if you're not confident with the orb phase, go ahead and do that so you can get a free poison clear. I'm noticing here at this point that I'm continuing to take damage from that poison splotch on the ground that's in the path of my melee punish. So that kind of, whenever you start noticing that, that's when you want to, another time when you know you want to start clearing that white row. Here I didn't think fast enough about how I wanted to position myself let me rewind this. The ideal position here to be in to clear these grubs coming from the corner is either this tile, or this tile, or this tile. Okay, these 3 tiles are ragged, but I still had this one open, so this was the optimal tile to be on to kill the grubs. Okay, here you have to run in underneath the boss, which is if there's poison under there, you can take poison damage from that. So always optimal to be on one of these 4 tiles here. But I did not notice that quick enough, so that was technically a misplay. Because of that misplay, I took a 19 explosion damage. You notice that. Going for these melee grub kills here. Because I didn't kill them fast enough to where they explode during the transition. If they explode during the transition, you don't take damage. So again, a misplay cost me 19 HP. Again, I see here, there's rocks on my D3 line. So those are the ones I'm going to use for the stomp, avoiding the stomp damage. I chose the wrong rock here. I should have chose the one to the east of the one that I did choose. Okay? Because I chose the wrong rock, I took damage. Here I was not able to analyze what row I wanted to clear fast enough, so I just had to choose a random one. Which technically was a good thing, because it does clear a couple of poison tiles underneath the boss. And I think it cleared also 1 tile to the north of the boss that I can use for my Ancient Godsword specs. So it turned out to be a good clear after all. Got a melee punish coming in here. I'm going to take that poison damage from that 1 rag tile that we talked about earlier. Here I'm going to go move a little bit east to make sure my boulders are not in my way. Godsword spec here to get health back. Death charge to get my spec back. That was a misplay by attacking the boss with the sword, just with a whack. So because of that, it looks like I'm only getting 1 Godsword spec off. Maybe 2 here. Close to only getting 1 off, I guess. Again, prioritize getting behind that D1 line. Well, if you know you're able to get behind it, you can go ahead and kill the grubs. But play it safe, boys. If you don't get behind that D1 line, you're going to have a bad time. Really bad time. So always play it safe. If you need to let some of those grubs get in so that you can make sure you're behind that line, let them grubs get in. It's always better to be behind that line. Here I'm going for the free clear again. Do I get it? Yes, I do. So I'll clear that main row. I should have cleared the main row, the row that I'm standing on right now. But again, this is a misplay. So I should have cleared the row that I'm standing on to get rid of that 1 poison tile that keeps damaging me every time I have to do a melee punish. That would have been the correct choice there, as far as which row to clear. We're starting to get to the waves where if you don't clear the poison, you're going to start having a bad time. Transitioning east for the double boulders so they don't block my path. Ancient Godsword spec for health. Something to be aware of is if you Ancient Godsword spec the boss, and then for whatever reason, you trigger his transition before the spec goes off, before the blood spec goes off, It will not heal you. You will lose that free heal. So if you need to delay hitting grubs in order to get that free heal, delay hitting grubs. Big hit. Got a melee punish coming in. 1 tick before the boulder click. As soon as you see your true tile reach B1, attack boss. I'm still taking damage from that poison splotch. We got a melee punish coming in. I'm going to have to run into the poison here. Take a lot of damage. This was a bad play because I still got rocks on my D1 row. Okay, I gained nothing from doing what I did. I just took a lot of unnecessary damage. That was a really bad play. Here I realize the melee grub is going to be going under the boss, so I'm going to have to walk under as well because I'm not where I need to be. Okay, the ideal tile to be on is this tile right here. Whenever you see the grubs coming diagonal. Do not get dragged in by attacking that mage grub in this situation. If I would have attacked that mage grub there, I would have got dragged in front of the D1 line, and then I would have lost my setup. Okay, so don't get tricked by trying to attack that mage grub because you will get dragged in. One tick away from getting the free player here. Again, that melee punish is still causing me to take damage from that poison splotch on the ground. Going for the God Sword heal. I'm in a bad position here. I'm in a very bad position here as far as killing the grubs, because if it was all melee grubs coming in right now, it would be very hard for me to take them all out. Okay? So always position yourself next to the boss, near where the grubs are coming in from. Don't make these mistakes. These are rookie mistakes that I'm making here. I should have been on this tile right here. I'm going to delay killing the boss here because I'm going to try to go for the free clear. Click out, click to attack. I didn't get the free clear, but I'm going to go for the correct clear anyway, which is my white tile row. Kill the mage grub. Stay in the shield. I did not clear enough of the row. So I still have those poison tiles that's going to damage me when I'm doing the melee punish. I did not attack the second set of trees early enough there for the orb to reach all the way to the end. Real quick, we're at 25 minutes and 6 seconds into the clip. I want to rewind here. Okay, we found it. On wave 16 here. We were supposed to go for clearing the white row. Okay, we were supposed to go for clearing this white row. But there was no tree here. Okay, so then we got distracted because we had to dodge the boulders and we just had to pick a random row, remember? Well, it turned out that by picking this row right here, we were able to clear a very helpful tile. Okay, so let's go back to 25 minutes and 6 seconds where we left off. That when we cleared that row, we cleared this tile right here. And if you go back and you look at some of the clips that we've already reviewed here, some of the delve levels, this tile right here has been very, very, very helpful for us. Okay, very helpful. So that was a really good decision there to clear that. That has been very helpful for us. I mean, look how many times we're using it. So that was a big, big help by getting that tile cleared. Even though we thought we had made a mistake, we actually did something that was very helpful for our run. Had to tank some poison damage to get behind the D1 row. You can see here we're going for the clear on the row next to the white row. We got a few tiles of poison cleared there, which was nice. Got the melee punish coming in here. And hopefully we finish them. And we do. TBOW is so strong. You hardly ever go into the second shield phase when you've got TBOW. Very rare. We still have those poison tiles on our white row. So we're taking a lot of damage overall throughout the fight because of that. Here, I went for the far east side melee punish. That way I could drop my rocks in a more ideal location. Right here is I'm really behind on getting to where I need to be for killing the grubs. We really don't have a good tile to stand on here, so we're just going to have to play it by ear. I went for the Godsword spec here, but I'm going to kill it before it actually goes off, so I'm not actually able to get the heal from it. Grub gets in. Took a lot of damage there. Grubs got in. Didn't get the Godsword heal. That was just a really, really unfortunate series of events there. I really need to get that white row cleared, and we finally got an opportunity here. Go ahead and click the tree early. I'm going to let that grub get swallowed up because I'm mainly focused on getting this clear here. Was my #1 priority. If I killed the grub next to the boss where he was at, it probably would have finished him off before I got the clear. So that's why I went ahead and let him get absorbed. We're starting to take, if you notice, we're starting to take a lot of damage, and we're starting to make a few misplays during each run, each level here. So that's a sign of sloppy play. Missing prayer flicks here. Walking into poison unnecessarily. A lot of mistakes being made. When that starts happening and you're noticing it, you're actively noticing it, it's probably good to start checking your chest to see what's in your chest, because it might be getting close to time to claim, if you know what I mean. Claim your loot and get out of there. 57 HP. during transitions is way less than ideal. That's 2 stomps away from death. 1 auto away from death. I went ahead and moved him up towards the middle here so that I could utilize these tiles on the north side to get a line clear near where my D1 row is at. Again, let's go back and watch that one more time. I knew in my mind there was way too much poison here in this area, and I needed to get some of it cleared. Because he's doing I'm not finished. A lot of times I was noticing I was not finishing him off after the rock drop, initial rock drop. So because of that, I wanted to get some of these tiles here cleared, preferably the D1 row. If you notice here, I moved out into this area and then came back, which triggered him going diagonal. So if you ever need to clear any of these, you can use that method by pulling him up and then getting behind your rocks and then transitioning to the side. These clears here are not going to be as long as the clears using the meta tiles. So you always have to be more precise with when you trigger the last tree and step into it. That way you're able to stay under for the full clear and be able to avoid all the stomps. Okay, we're going into the next wave with less than ideal health, and we've been making a lot of mistakes. So let's see how this one turns out. Let's see if we can recover. Starts getting a little mentally draining around wave 20, so you'll probably start noticing, even if you're, experienced with this, you're going to start noticing more mistakes around this time. When you're less than 65 health, you always want to make sure you prioritize those perflicts. You do not want to get chanced. Okay, we got some heals here. Going for a second heal. I did not move early enough here. Because I did not move early enough, I should have killed them. Let's go back one more time. Select the boss here. I knew that whenever I killed the melee, I knew that it was going to instantly phase him into the next. I knew it was going to instantly phase him into the transition. Okay. So I should have started running as soon as I attacked him. And then while running, I should have killed the mage. But because I misplayed so bad, we did not make it behind the D1 line because we got knocked out by one of the boulders. Okay? If you run and you end up on a tile underneath the boulder falling, you are going to get booted out from under that tile and you will be temporarily stunned. When that happens, you are probably not going to make it to your D1 line. Okay? Not only did I not make it to the D1 line, I got hit by poison 3 times. I got ran over. Okay? Here I knew I was going to have to tank a stomp, so I went ahead and started using my Ceradomin brew as fast as I could to get above 42 HP. And then again, use my last sip to stay above 42 HP and focus on DPSing the boss. Here, DPSing the boss and surviving is the absolute key. At this point, I knew I had made so many mistakes that my mental was pretty much shot for this run. So I went ahead and took the loot, and I went ahead and resigned. So that's it for this analysis. There's my collection log. But I always recommend, if you start noticing you're making a lot of mistakes each wave, hey, just go ahead and resign. Take your loot, start over. There's no shame in it. Technically, it's a success. And start fresh on the next one.